Wednesday, huh? Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Looking forward for today's meeting and content. I see some new faces here, there. Good to meet everybody in person, face to face, right? So some good stuff, and then it is Veterans
Many live in Calabasas.
Week, if you may. So I'm going to we're gonna honor some of our veterans agents. Hopefully they're all gonna show up. If not, it's gonna be a virtual honoring. So we'll talk more about that. Something that KW really did great this year. So it's an honor. Let's start, and I'm gonna have Kim. Kim, you should write Kim at the end because you picked it up.
Trust because you are willing to accept the risk, not because it's safe or certain. So
Kim, that's a big one. Big one.
That is a good one. Thank you, Alejandra. So I guess to me, that means that if it's easy and you're not outside your comfort zone, then it's too safe and too vanilla, and you have to push yourself to do what's not safe or certain. How's that?
Yeah, good job. Any other thoughts over here? Anybody? Huh? Yes, Janine.
I've always said that forgiveness is based on trust that offending behavior will not happen again, but there's always a certain amount of risk that it's not safe or certain that it won't when you apply it to forgiveness.
Yes. Yeah, well said. Because you have to trust yourself first, right? And it can go different ways, but maybe when it comes to the risk factor, if you trust yourself, why would you take a risk? Because you trust yourself. Maybe it's not just about the outcome, it's mostly about the journey, meaning how are you gonna react? How are you gonna adjust to the situation that you're in? If it's with someone, if it's with something, based on your personality, right? So taking a risk is also, or a bet is also in a way of how will I evolve in that journey or relationship or conversation or phone call, or whatever that is, based on my ability to perform, right? So yeah, thanks for sharing, guys. Thanks, Ken. Shout outs. Calabasas, where's Omid?
Where is Omid? Omid is working, right? Because he's taking home 100% of his commission now. Omid, congratulations on capping.
Yeah, well done, Omid. Very, on task and super focused. Single dad, 2 kids, on the hustle, nonstop. So keep it up, well deserved. And Samantha
Mitchell. So congratulations on capping. She just works. She's a brand new mommy, right? And she came here from New York just a little over a year ago, and is just her second time capping. So it's like amazing. So congratulations.
Yeah, well done, Samantha. Congrats. Good job. Always fun to celebrate success. Talking about that, this is our last month, October closings. I don't know why I cannot get rid of this little thing over here. Oh, there we go. This is better. That's for the Long Beach office. I don't have Holly here today. She's out in a Women's Council conference, right? Because she's going to be the Long Beach chapter president next year. It's a big job. Holly, good job. So she went to boot camp for Women's Council people. So that's awesome. So shout out guys and girls and teams and solo agents. Long Beach. Give yourself a round of applause. Well done. That's a strong month in Coastal over here. And the Calabasas team, congratulations. Stephanie.
Woo!
obviously there's too many today, but super proud of each and every one of you. We're just crushing it here in Calabasas, and each and every one of you are just growing your business leaps and bounds. It will be next month. Okay, so I checked. So anyway, yeah, so congratulations to everyone. Really appreciate your hard work.
Well done, Calabasas. Congrats. Keep it up. And West Side, Key, make some noise. Everybody over there. Good job, West Side. Having a good year over there. All the agents, commercial, residential. You're gonna see some new names on the screen soon who joined us recently. This office is, keep growing with amazing soul. So congrats, everybody. Another good month. Talking about joining the family. So welcome to our office, Deborah, Long Beach.
Yeah, we want to welcome Danielle and Chris and Paula. And
Paula?
Yes.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, good to have you. And Danny is sitting down over there in escrow, and Chris, I haven't met it, right?
no,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Welcome,
He was
welcome.
in- He was in yesterday getting some things in order.
Congrats. Welcome to our coastal family in Calabasas.
Calabasas, we have Jessica. Welcome, welcome, Jessica, Alexandra, Arshia, Creekord, who's here? Where'd you go? Oh, there you are, right there. Woo, and Evie. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Just super excited for the journey, and and trusting us to be a part of it, and looking forward to much success. So welcome, everyone.
Welcome to the Calabasas office. And the West Side, we got Candice and Trudy, Fred, welcome, Gwen, Edwin, and Gina just signed up this morning as well. So congrats, everybody. Welcome, welcome. West Side. It's a mix of neo and mostly producing agents from different companies. So good to have you guys. Welcome aboard. Happy birthday, Cindy.
Happy birthday!
Cindy, she went to eat the cake. She couldn't wait. But happy birthday, Cindy. Happy 30th birthday. You missed the song. I was singing the whole thing.
Singing a solo.
It's okay, next time. Happy birthday, Cindy.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy birthday, Cindy.
It's a birthday week. Okay, just FYI. She loves celebrating. And Rich, it's not your birthday, but it's always a celebration to have you. So what's the good word, Rich?
The good word is, I just want to remind those who are ChrisNet users that they did make a change to the coming soon. There are no longer any showings on coming soon. So I want to remind you that, and they are coming up with an addendum to use for your sellers to sign, so that they understand the limit, and agents understand the limitations of some coming soon. And then finally, since we are close to the middle of November, if you haven't taken that ethics class that is required by the end of the year, make sure that you do so. I know that Calabasas had an event, and I believe Coastal is having an event also in person to do it. But if you don't make either of those events, it's easy to go online to NAR and take the 2-hour course to fulfill that requirement. Because if it's not fulfilled by the end of the year, then come January, all your benefits will be shut off. So it's really important to take care of that. And it's only every 3 years. So
Yeah, every 3 years mini traffic school, right? But
Yeah.
It was a good session in Calabasas, and we got Career Campus Beef. The instructor came down there, is going to be here as well. If we're going to have the day to show afterwards, December 2nd, and then they're going to be at the South Bay office in Torrance, in case you couldn't attend. Whoever is watching us in Long Beach as well. You can also do it online. I think it is a paid, right? right? There's a fee, but if you do it with us, it doesn't cost anything. That's why you run them over here.
There is no fee. There is no fee for doing it online with
Okay, sorry.
NAR. It's free. Yeah.
With some other places.
NAR, okay, yeah, with NAR.
Yeah.
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you. So just make sure you're not paying for it, okay? Either
Yeah.
online or if you want to come here. Yeah.
Also, make certain that you do submit it. I don't know if Rich may have mentioned it and I missed it, but submit it to PWR or to your board. And if you did your renewal classes, it may not have been a part of those that you selected. We found that out just recently, so. Double check.
Yeah, and yes, if you took the class, make sure in Calabasas, right? If by any chance you remember that you didn't sign up anywhere, reach out to Stephanie. And those who are going to take the class in the future, the in-person class, make sure to sign your name with the instructor because yes, all of you guys got credit already. And Stephanie, if you don't mind, just to check with Rich or Jazzy to send those copies that they signed for us, the Career Campus, to send them all to all the agents separately for their.
Yeah, we have all those set to go out today.
Awesome. Okay. So that's that. Rich, anything else?
Oh, that's it.
Good stuff. Thanks, Rich, as always. Now we have Fritz, our main speaker, Fritz. And Deborah, I'm going to have you up here as well because you're going to help Fritz to do some things. Did you want to have your presentation first with the stats or?
We're going to talk about it first, then we'll pop it up there. Who's in control of that?
Deborah is always in control.
Oh,
You know that. So I'm here if you need me just to talk about
Okay.
the screens and everything. But good to have Fritz, maths coach, business coach, and just amazing speaker in general, but business to present and take it from here.
Yeah.
Fritz.
So listen, welcome everybody out there in Forward Living Land and here at the Coastal Office. My name is Fritz Pollard. I'm a MAPS business coach, executive head coach with MAPS, and I get the privilege of hanging out in this office. I go in my cave and coach most of the day, and then I get to come out every once in a while and talk to all of you. So what we're going to talk about today is a game changer and what I would encourage all of you to add to your business planning for 2022. And you can actually start this immediately. And we'll share a little bit about what we've done here at Coastal with the help of Bell to get some of this information to you. This will literally change your business as we start to head into what might be a little bit of a shift. Okay, now Gary Keller shared something with me years ago, and it comes out of a lot of his books. You're going to want to read through and get caught up on shift. Now, let me be very clear. I read something in Inman just this morning. We are expecting that 2022 is going to be another very good real estate market. We are starting, though, to see the transition of some shift signs. What we're going to talk about today is going to give you actual empirical data as to what is exactly happening so you can beat the competition to the market and actually bring it to them to create more opportunity for yourself. Okay, the way we win in any real estate market is by beating our competition to the punch and the opportunities. You will see those opportunities today. What Gary shared years ago that really stuck with me is he suggested we must become the local economists. We must be the local economist of choice. He's also said in a shifting market, skills win the day. So what we're going to do today is show you how to become a local economist and literally give you an MBA in economics. And you could literally, after this class, go have a conversation with the client, create a transaction. Okay. So I hear this from Gary, become the economist of choice. What do you do? Where do you go? What do you do? So I was at another training where this leader said, here are 7 market stats that are happening in your market right now that may be a blind spot to you. You may not be looking at them daily, and you may not actually understand the interaction with all 7 of them. So now we can put up our little slide, and we're going to take a look at what these 7 stats are. You obviously can write them down. We're going to talk about them. We're actually going to do some script role play around them, and then I'm going to show you the Coastal numbers. And then you're going to tell me, because you're going to get an MBA in economics today, you are literally going to be telling me what they need, because this is not rocket science. But to our clients, this is the bridge between your next deal and hitting your business goals for next year. So here they are, 7 stats. Average days on market. We'll go in and describe this. The amazing Deb Bell will show you how you pull all of this stuff because it can be a little tricky. We have so many data sources to pull this information. She's already gone through this and can help us. So it's average days on market. What is that? List date to pen date. I don't care how long the escrow is. That's between the buyer and the seller. I want to know in a marketing setting, how long was it on the market from beginning to when someone said, I want that, and they negotiated a deal. New on the market, that is our supply chain. Supply chain, kind of a big thing in our economy today, right? That's our supply chain from the consumer hitting the MLS. It's what is available to be purchased newly, and I'm going to talk about why 2 weeks is important, new to the market. Total available. That's a really big number to be monitoring today because our total available inventory has been way down, historic lows. We are starting to see that number creep up, and it's happening right under your nose. If you don't watch it, you won't see it. It's that subtle. And yet I'm going to share some examples of agents that are now taking advantage of that slight shift. Pendings. How many pendings happened in the last couple of weeks? I'll explain what the 2 week number and why that's important. But how many properties went pending within that time frame? How many closed within that time frame? We're going to group expired, withdrawn, and canceled. In my mind, that is an unhappy seller. They did not get what they needed from their agent. This number is one of the best barometers of where our market is going. We're going to group those all into one number. And then last but not least is price reductions. So before we get into all the numbers, I know you see them all up there. Ignore those for right now. Just make sure you get these 7 stats down. Now, the amazing Deb, when we went over this, and I first explained this to her about 45 days ago, we almost had to go into the parking lot and duke it out. It got very tense. I was saying, this is what I need. And she's like, you don't understand. And she's pounding away on keyboards. I had to take a break. She had to take a break. We didn't talk for a while, maybe 5 minutes. And then we got back together. And now she is pulling these. If you look on my door over there, you will see the last 2 runs. So ladies and gentlemen, we need these run every 2 weeks. We want to be able to start a reporting chain that has consistency in its time, and the data is apples to apples. We get apples to oranges, the client will shoot holes in our game plan. So this is run every 2 weeks, first and the 15th. And I'm going to suggest for high performers, teams, have someone else do this. For the market center here, Deb's going to run it. She posts it on my door and it gives me a chance to watch it. And then I talk about it in my trainings. So these are all going to be 2 week numbers. So what's the average days on market for the last 2 weeks? What's the new on the market? Last 2 weeks. Total available from 2 weeks ago to today. Be careful of that number. That's hard to go recreate if you miss your time frame, because you want to know it in a snapshot in time. Pendings last 2 weeks, closings last 2 weeks. Who's expired, withdrawn, and canceled last 2 weeks, and price reductions last 2 weeks. Now, I'm going to bring Deb up here because the fruits of our meeting are now in this outline that she's created as to where we go get all of this. Some of it's MLS, Trend Graphics, and a lot of other places. So any of our admin crew and our great leaders, if we can help the agents understand how to get there, you will become unbeatable in front of the consumer. And we're going to actually go through the different environments we can use this data today. All right, Deb, come on up here and tell us what we've learned.
Okay.
I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
I don't know, where am I going?
Here, just gonna
Okay.
sit right over there. I'm just
Gonna
gonna sit
switch
you
my
up for a second.
screens.
Yeah, I'm just
So
sit you up.
I want to say that Fritz was not Fritz was not exaggerating when he said
Yeah.
we almost were duking it.
Yeah.
It was
It
really,
got
I had
fun.
no idea. It was trial and error. And so we really were playing with some things, but I think we have it figured out. We ran the numbers, as he said, the last couple of times. And I hope this makes it easier for all of you. I made a little cheat sheet, so I'm happy to send that off to each office if you would like to be doing this on a regular basis.
This is you?
That's me.
Okay. And then just give me a second over here to move this stuff aside. Okay, so you want body? Are you okay like that?
Yeah, I think I have access to everything I should need.
Yes. Okay, that's
Oh.
enough.
Okay, so the first one we're gonna go, this was the average days on market, probably was the most challenging, and I know the MLSs are going to be, excuse me, a little bit different between the different MLSs, but you're basically going to go into your search and we're searching detail. Come on. We'll do it this way. Okay. Okay. And there's only 3 different criteria that we're working with. You're going to be working with the status, and that one will change. You're going to be working with whatever your property type is. We are using single family, and our city has been Long Beach. So,
And just on that note, while she's pulling that, do not mix condos, townhomes with single family. Client will blow that apart. It's got to be separate, but you can run 7 stats for condos, townhomes, single family residences, that you separate.
okay. So for the average days on market, this is going to be the one that will take you a little bit more time than the other. We're going to go in and we're going to select close. We're then going to select our date. And let's just say we'll work with the 1st through the 14th of November. Say okay. And then we're going to look to see if we had 73 closings is what it's showing. So then I go into the results and I click on the days on market. I want to get them from the lowest number to the highest because that for me was easier to add. And if you can't add them in your head, Fritz will loan you his calculator.
Yep.
He pulled that out quick. But what I typically do will go through and I have, okay, 1, and then I have 2, 4, add 4. So just add this all the way up to the bottom to all of your 73, all the way down. When I had DOM and CDOMs, I only went with the DOM. I did not count the cumulative days on market. And then once I had them, I divided it by our total, which was 73. And that's how we had the average days on market. Make sense? Okay, cool. So we got that one. Let's go back up. The rest of these are going to be fairly easy. You're just going to change your criteria. So for active or new on the market, we're going to look at active. Let's undo this one. Look at active and the same dates, whatever you'd want your dates to be. Again, I'm just choosing what our next run is going to be. And then we get a result of 28. So currently we're showing 28 in that time period and in Long Beach. So remember, you can do it for whatever city and whatever time period you're going to be looking. But as Fritz has said, every 2 weeks you want to hit it. So after this, I'll start with the 15th through the end of the month. The next one we have on there was, so this is new on market, total available. I didn't put a date for total available. So this, eliminating these, where's my? And you see it goes up to 135, which I think, Fritz, is a little bit less than what we had over there for total available in the last 2 weeks.
It was 143.
143. So that's our total available. And then of course you're closed, you're going to do the same thing. And for the expired, same thing, put your date in, uncheck the previous. We have 73 as we saw earlier. And then expired, we're going to group these guys together, canceled and withdrawn. And then you want to get that date back in there though, the 1st to the 14th.
I'm sorry, for total available, what did you do to get total available?
Total available, no active and no date. And I do have those sheets that I can.
Is that the one you were saying it's important to pull it on the day?
Yeah, because it's moving all the time. And unfortunately, when you're attempting to go back, you lose that, when was it active? And so you want to make sure that's consistent.
So now we're showing nuns where we had 5, I think the last run. 9 of the expired, canceled and withdrawn.
Okay.
So you can see how those numbers are going up. So, and that's it. Oh yeah, price reductions. Okay.
Yeah.
So the price reductions, we're going to go back to, let's get rid of these. On the price reductions, I'm going to go to closed. I'm going to put that time in. I have 73 closings right now. Here's where you have to go again, and you're going to count all the red arrows down. Those are your reductions. So that's going to tell you how many price reductions we had in that time period. Make sense? Really easy, right? And
Yeah.
very good information.
So don't those also include homes? I mean, do we count that as a price reduction if it includes homes that were accepted under asking, or would we consider that a price reduction?
So that would be a price reduction because they had to reduce it to get the offer accepted.
Okay.
What we did not take into consideration here, we did not look at active under contract. because those days continue to count because you left it on as active. So we did not include those in our searches.
And by the way, and watch out, because your mind can start running wild on all of the what ifs. So someone's accepted an offer. In my mind, that's a buyer and seller that have found a meeting of the minds. That is, in my world, set aside. Now, there's other circumstances that are running there, but if we're counting those days on market, that's not, in my mind, a true indication of a seller that's out there going, I wish I had a buyer. Those days to me are more important than when we've got a meeting of the minds. Maybe it's a financing issue, what have you. So again, work with this. I'll share with you some of the pitfalls here in a moment, but don't overthink it either. Pull the numbers, do them consistently, apples to apples, and then you start going, oh geez, I think I may want to tweak this because it has more presentation power in front of a client.
We're good.
Yeah, she's got a cheat sheet here if you want. I'm going to go to you with the question. And then anyone from the rest of the forward living world, she's really done a good job. Now she just slaps this thing on my door and I get to start analyzing it.
There's a few of them in the back that I can make.
Deborah, questions? Yeah.
Yeah, so you're using 2 weeks, and I'm just thinking, from the time that you talk to a client to the time that they decide to go with you or a different agent, could be a difference of another week.
Yeah.
So now the information he gives her, if he's doing the same thing, is totally different than your information. So now she's struggling with.
Who's the other person?
Who's the other person?
Yeah, you said,
No, if another agent.
oh, another agent.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I doubt another agent's going to do this.
Correct.
Yeah, so, but carry on.
I don't doubt that. So why not use just the previous month so we all have the same information? And you give us
It's a great question.
current
You
information
want
based
more notches in your presentation belt to show trends. And unfortunately, monthly trends, I only get 12 of those. I get 24 bi-monthly trends, and I can do more on the spot to show a slight change. And you're going to see that in these numbers. They're moving just a little bit over a period of a month. Not as much of an impact. I want to be able to have a relevant conversation today on subtle changes. But I hear what you're saying. I have never competed against an agent that tracks like this. And this is so easy, you would think, well, why wouldn't they? It's just, I just collect all this thing, I put it together and say, how can we impact the client? So maybe we could talk a little bit later. If you've got a consistent competitor you're going up against that's doing this, let's strategize about how we can help you beat them.
Well, and that's just part of the conversation too, don't you agree, Fritz? I mean, if you're sitting down with someone, they're not gonna list with you that day, you can explain to them, this is the 2-week trend, and the reason I'm doing 2 weeks is because the market's shifting.
Well, and then I'm gonna create a little urgency around that. So it's your choice, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. If you choose to wait and these trends continue in the direction they're going, are you okay accepting us later? It's fine with me. I get it. You've got a time frame, but this is telling me that you may be giving up bottom line dollars. So I'm going to turn this into an urgency discussion, and it's not me, it's the stats. The pressure is on the stats. And this is what Mary says in a shift. The client has the pressure of the market on them, not in essence my salesmanship, if you will. Okay, so was that amazing? Yes. I decided that Deb and I are going to exchange Christmas gifts. We put our differences aside, and it's just a flip on the screen.
It's all good. It's all good.
You know, I had to go to the ER real quick for get some medical attention.
Don't
but we're
scratch
good.
out cards.
Yeah,
That's it,
yeah. My car's a little bit, doesn't run the same, but it's okay. Okay, so back on October 1st, here's what we had. So average days on market was 16, okay? Which, ladies and gentlemen, I've been in this business for over 30 years. That is insane. I mean, that's barely getting the flyers done.
Yeah.
And what I coached a client, just so you know, we'll get to total available in a minute. There were 100,000 listings in Atlanta, Georgia, back before the last shift. 100,000. Now, you know, we were walking away from more listings than we were wanting to keep because they just weren't selling. 16 days on the market is just insanity. And yet, if we see it move, it's moving. Well, look what it did. That's more like 3 weeks later, 21 days on market. Now I'm going to talk about a listing consultation discussion, a buyer consultation discussion, and a price reduction discussion. You can use these stats in all of them. Okay, let's look at the next one, new on market, 47. Ooh, we've dropped to 40. Why do you think that might be the case?
Holidays.
Okay, we're kind of getting into that funky time where the motivated are here. We'll look at that price reductions in a minute. So I'm going to chalk that up to not that the market's shifting, it's we're getting into that seasonal perspective. Now, that's also an opportunity for me if I've got seller leads. Why?
In front of the market and they have less competition.
Less competition. We always have to be thinking, what's the motive behind a seller selling? It's to net more money. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, may I share with you an opportunity that is literally under the surface in the market that no other agent is looking at. By the way, the other agent is saying, yeah, let's list after the first year. Why do they say that? They don't want to be busy.
Yeah.
Oh, I have an 8-day Thanksgiving tradition. I can't be launching a listing. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take that listing because low inventory is an opportunity for a seller in a shifting market. Let's go to total available. 145 to 143. That number actually jumped out to me because when you have 7 less listings on the market, we've only dropped 2 in about 6 weeks. And look at how little our pending number it has gone down 50 to 44. So you can start to see the interaction and the interplay between these stats. Again, 44 pending, maybe a little bit more of a condensed market. That could also be the holidays, but again, less inventory overall could be an advantage to the seller. And we always want to create urgency. You can see our closings. Now, remember, when did these deals take place? Those are 60 days ago. Those leads probably were developed late summer. So that's always going to be a delay, but it's a data point. Expired, withdrawn, canceled. Now, again, let's start watching this number. We go from 1, we go to 5. Now, this is the opportunity of what these stats will start having you think about. We did not have expired listings to reach out to. It is an absolute crime if your CMAs or your body is not in front of those 5 sellers. Straight up. If we are not getting these people that did not have a successful outcome by the agent that they hired, it's your duty to get in front of these people. Now, follow all the rules and laws. I don't even know what the MLS rules and laws are anymore. I'm not selling property anymore. And I know, I see Rich looking at me going, oh God, Fritz, be careful. Next thing you know, I'll be in real estate jail and I'm taking Deb with me. However, the reality is get in front of those people. They didn't get what they wanted. And we can talk more about what an expired packet may look like and all that stuff. Now, here's the big one. Look at what happened on price reductions. Now, this is just in Long Beach. We go from 19 to 32. This is going to be your future expired. It's going to be your future inventory dropping down. It will be next year's listing for sure, because they probably haven't lost their motive to sell. They just don't like where the market is, and the agent hasn't been able to communicate where that price should be because they don't have access to these stats. Now, we start stacking this up. So this goes back to why not monthly? If I can have this conversation every 2 weeks, they may say, let's table this conversation. I get what you're saying. I'm not ready. No problem. I'm just here to partner with you. 2 weeks later, these continue to move in the direction. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we need to have a conversation. I still need to understand how important is it for you to be in blank by blank? And how important is it additionally that you net the highest number at close of escrow? Because if that is still a priority, I'm telling you, our market is beginning to move away from your desires. And I'm here to partner with you in those desires or that outcome. Okay, so are there any questions in any parts of our world here about the 7 stats and the numbers you see here? And then I'm going to get into some role play. We're all clear? Okay, so let's take the listing. Now, we could be dead wrong on the price. We could be completely off base on our marketing plan, our exposure plan, and everything else. And the market made us look like a hero for the last few years. An absolute hero. 18 offers, overbidding, and we're like, oh my God, this is the best thing. I don't even have to order flyers on properties. And we've gotten used to the fact, and I'm going to tell you, let's be ready. There may be a day where we lay out the whole marketing plan and we got to execute on all of it. But for the moment, we've been made to look like heroes. So now the agent in a shifting market will be the one that brings the greatest amount of skill to the table to get that property priced right from the beginning. And it's going to be a challenge because they're going to have their price in mind. We could take that price and get it. We're seeing in the luxury market, and by the way, if you run these stats and break them down, it's the luxury market that we will see start to shift, and then it will trickle down through move ups and then entry level and so on. Okay, so we're sitting at the listing appointment. We're doing our CMA presentation. Client pulls a number out of the air that is 10, 20, 30% over where you know the market is. Out come the stats, and we're going to have a conversation about, let's take a look at your price point and in your community and in your city, where things are going. I'm setting the tone for the fact that that's a great price. I can't guarantee we can get that, and yet I'm seeing market data that's suggesting that the market is moving in a different direction. And we're going to have a conversation about that. Now, I think we're in the transition phase now, and I'm seeing this with a lot of my clients, where sometimes we are still getting the old school price, the price that we never thought we could get. So you still want to likely take that listing, but you want to actually set the context is, when are we going to reevaluate that listing and identify the first price reduction? And if you can get that in writing, do it. I'm going to tell you that you have to pre-plan and front load price reductions. You want to start having the first conversation in 2 weeks for a 21-day reduction. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we identify that when a home has been on the market for 21 days, we have now run the course of our marketing plan. You start having the discussion about price reductions on day 14 to get it on day 21. It's very tough unless you really set it up to get it on the day you want it. The problem is we start too late. So 14 days, start having the conversation. Have the conversation when you list the home, but 14 days, you're sitting down, you're reviewing, say, hey, we've done all of our marketing. We got to consider what are your desires and wishes, and I need to be able to deliver those. And these stats are suggesting otherwise, then we need to start making that adjustment. Did you have a question? Okay. So again, CMA presentation. Now let's talk about price reductions. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we're starting to see the average days on market increase, which we've experienced. I'm talking to the seller, it hasn't sold. Our inventory's dropped, and yet our total available is still about where it was when we listed. The pendings have dropped, which is a concern. That's your buyer pool, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. And we're starting to see people expire if they don't adjust to get right with the market. We do have to look at that as a possibility. And you make the final call on this, and yet we're seeing price reductions are up significantly. So let's review. Notice I'm moving off the stats. Let's review what your motive is to sell. Do you still need to be in blank by blank? Now, this is where you go back to the day you listed the property. How well do you know the desire and motive of the listing you took? We didn't have to really get into that because the ink wasn't even dry in the listing, and you had 14 offers and you were a hero. So make sure that in your listing presentations, you really get clarity on, why are we doing this? What's important about this move? Find that big why in their move, because all of a sudden you're going to go back to that when you present this. If you don't know why they're moving down to the nth degree, this doesn't land as well. It's just you being an agent that just wants to get paid. And we know that's not us. We're here to deliver the highest price that we can in the market for the client. So again, this is our price reduction conversation, the same discussion, and yet here's the script. Is it still important for you to net the highest number at close of escrow? That's what you need to write down around all these stats. Is it still important for you to net the highest amount at close of escrow? If that's not important to you, then these stats don't matter. Let's just wait. The only thing I have to tell you is, if they continue to get worse or get more, let's put it this way, if they shift more, would you be okay accepting less and substantially less? And again, you're always playing that script against them when we look at these stats and the trends. And that's why I want to see these every 2 weeks. It's another time for a fresh conversation. Okay, so let's talk about buyers real quick. Well, I wouldn't want to show this to a buyer. I don't want to demotivate them to buy. Are you kidding me? It's the same conversation. So Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I know we were looking at homes this summer and we kind of got our lunch handed to us. Do you remember that? I think we wrote 6 offers, didn't we? We killed a couple of trees. There's some things happening in the market that may cause you to want to get back in touch with me. Are you still interested in buying? Oh, we just got so frustrated. We called it buyer fatigue. I mean, up at KWRI, we were calling it buyer fatigue. When you go from 16 days to 21 days, who does that benefit? The buyer. Let's get back in here and relook at what's happening. New on the market's gone down a little bit. Total available is about the same. Look at the pendings are down. You might actually get a seller that goes, yeah, bring your offer in. Okay. Let's look at expired, withdrawn, and canceled. We know that there are 5 expireds. Could we assume they were a little overpriced? So maybe that buyer that's getting tired of getting beat writes an offer on an expired at the price point that it should have been at with no competition. Oh, and hello, I just put 32 more properties, possibly in the range that this buyer can afford, that when we were looking was up here, pie in the sky. Buyer, when can you get in here? This market is finally moving in your direction. So the same stats for the seller work for the buyer. And the more you role play, practice, and internalize this, and you get them back to back and you watch this trend, you will be doing the next training on how you use your script and these stats to go win the day. So we can use it on our listings. We can get our CMAs more dialed in. We can use them for price reductions. We can use them for buyers. This is great stats to have at open houses. Buyer comes in. Hey, how are you doing? Which home in the neighborhood do you own? I don't live in the neighborhood. I'd love to be in this neighborhood. I'm looking, but man, we got beat. We wrote offers all day, every day. We couldn't win. Great. Did you know that the market is actually coming in the buyer's direction? Well, what do you mean? They've probably not talked to their agent in weeks because they were so, frustrated and depressed. All of a sudden, these stats create a conversation point. Now they're in your car. And these expireds and some of those price reductions, we call it shadow inventory. Everyone knows what's available. The shadow inventory is the inventory where we can now be the only buyer negotiating with that seller, and that seller of an expired may actually open their door and say, where have you been all my life? So remember that sometimes we have to get ahead of the market. And I guarantee you, nobody is having this conversation in their office today. So go get ahead of the market, use this data, and let's go win. Okay, questions, comments, concerns?
Type in your questions if you have any. Or if you're physically in the office over there, Calabasas Wayside, you can go to the mic and we're gonna let you speak. Anybody here?
But while you're thinking of your questions, let me cover a couple more things. So run them every 2 weeks. Run them in the market areas you service. Do not run them like you would run a CMA. You will get hammered by your client because if it's too small an area, you don't have enough of a pool of data. We want to have a larger pool of data because the numbers are more impactful. Now, if you want to run the big numbers and then run a luxury market, you can do that, but don't walk in there with just the small community because it's too easy to debate the information. What was that derogatory against me?
Oh, no.
Someone said that you're really cute and she wants your number. Mary, I'm messing up, Marilyn. I'm just messing up.
I'm just worried about Rich here. He's like going to send me a demand letter about.
Jail.
Yeah, I'm going to real estate jail. So again, the bigger, so let's say Long Beach, we were debating this. How big an area do we run? Well, how big an area do you serve? So you would go in with the big data because that shows the trend. If you go in with a local CMA, get ready for your client to go, well, which expired was that? And then you're going, well, it's the one around the corner. That was a piece of garbage. And now you're in a completely different conversation. The bigger the data pool, the more you see the trend and the easier it is to have a conversation. Okay. What do they say?
2 minutes
2 minutes for what?
for us moving.
Okay, so are there any questions?
Any questions?
Your class.
Oh, on Thursdays?
If we, yeah, they're welcome to come down.
Oh,
for
well,
it.
talk
It
to
is
them about the business planning class.
I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But so first of all, give it to Fritz.
Yeah.
And, are you guys okay? So this year we're still running 3 meetings a month, right? Two hybrid and then 1 in person only at each office, correct? Next year, we're gonna do, we're gonna keep doing 3 meetings, 2 in person only and 1 hybrid. We're gonna shift more into the in person, right? So are you guys okay with, that's gonna be one of the office level, 1 meeting, not the one I'm showing the stats on a global level, a more kind of broad level, but dive deeper into those kind of stats locally. Are you okay with that once a month? Yeah. Okay, because I think that's, I guess
Yeah,
I'll take some
and
messages.
again, in your local market areas, I mean, we all need to be masterminding, not only about what's working.
Yeah.
But how you're presenting the individual stats that are having the most impact. I don't have all the answers. Okay, all right, gang, thank you. Go use.
Fritz
this.
Pollard. Good stuff. Thanks, Fritz. To be continued. And yeah, Fritz is having a session. I think is
Tomorrow he is not local, but every Thursday at 3, and we invite all the offices. It is live here in the office.
got it. It's personal in Long Beach, right? So
So come on down.
right. And quick overview today in the West Side office, we got Joe Soleimani. He's gonna lead a live session about leases, money disposition, etc. Like, you know, especially if you're newer, we don't do a lot of leases and those come once in a while. It's always like, what about this form, that form? How do you break down payments? That's Joe in the West Side office. We are going to have at 12 p.m. the Upcity Leads live session in LA Harbor. That's the last round. The trainer was here yesterday.
He was, and he did
Yeah,
a great job.
yeah.
Great.
We had full house in Calabasas. We had the packed house in Westside as well. So those are we're not, you know, we don't usually support buying leads, right? In part of the business, at least when we train our agents to be kind of more, independent and build your own business. However, that's at the back end. Like you get the lead, you close, you get paid, and then you pay them a piece of the action, right? So that's more reasonable, even though on the expensive side relatively, but it's still worth it. So if you're not opt-in with the Upcity, talk to either your team leader or your MCA, preferably the team leaders, okay? Sorry, and just to finish that for this week, we have, where is it on Friday? Fritz he said like, is this week?
He's not here tomorrow.
Okay,
but
I wasn't
next
sure.
Thursday.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And then we are going to have also Stephanie on 2 p.m. on Friday in Calabasas, practice over there, buyer consultation in person. And Kim is going to do, Kim and Agent Services, I think it's going to be with Erica in Long Beach and Andrew in Calabasas. They'll do a tech orientation about our tech. Rich, when is the next class? Next week, 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now.
My next class is the day before Thanksgiving, which is, I believe, is the 24th. Yes.
Yeah, 24th. So get stuffed before the real stuffing with Rich.
Yeah. Get your mind stuffed. RPA.
Mind stuffing stuff. Then you have also Jeff is doing the same session November 15th, which is next week, right? And I did send an email blast with both recordings. If you didn't get it, check your spam. Not in your spam, let me know, please. Okay, both Jeff's session and Rich's session. You can watch them both combined on a Friday night with popcorn, 5 hours. Netflix best. All right, and then that's my step 2, part 2 next week on the 17th. I'll physically be at the West Side office, but you're welcome to come in person to every office and participate. We're going to talk about we're going to have Fritz and Holly will launch the session with business principles. And then we're gonna have a mix of different speakers talking about various things in our industry and also teaching you about building your own wealth. If you missed the first session, go back to the recordings on our YouTube channel. And that's that. Ignite Marathon, Stephanie?
Ignite Marathon is back. It is Saturday, November 20th. So we have some great new speakers there for you guys. And it's just a really culmination of everything from A to Z in your real estate business. So it's always a great refresher. There's always, if you think you know everything, there's always a nugget or two that you pull out of each Ignite session. So again, 9 to 3, it will be via Zoom and in person. So I'll be in the Calabasas office for you guys to come in and partake in that. But it's definitely, you know, our top trainers for this event. So make sure that you show up and be prepared.
Yeah, it's over Zoom as well. And we always doing our best to pick up most of the trainers and speakers, different agents. So it's going to be, you know, different angle, different perspective, because it's the same topic, but when it's being taught by someone else, there's different perspectives. So, and if you, whoever out there wanna teach at this session, or share your experience, let us know. We don't really go by the script, right? Because it will take 3 hours per session. So we switch it in 30 minutes instead of 3 hours per topic, but it's a fun marathon, right? Jeff, that's an easier marathon than what you're doing. Potluck. So
Yes.
here,
Yes, next Wednesday, the potluck's gonna begin around 11:30, but
favorite day,
please, what's that?
my favorite
I
day.
know, exactly. Please be here at 11 o'clock because we're gonna have a plaque presentation. So plaque presentation and then potluck next Wednesday.
The plaque is for the capper
Plaques.
plaques. Yeah, because we didn't give plaque this year because of COVID, so we're doing year to date capper walk. It's going to be a lot of cappers. It's going to be fun, and we're going to get the actual physical plaque, and we're going to honor you. Same thing with West Side. Same day, 11:30. If you bring food, 11 o'clock, drop it with Kim over there, because it's going to be a warm up before the business planning clinic at 1 o'clock. So you can sit down and close your eyes and digest, and we're going to go for another 2.5 hours. And Stephanie, thank you for adjusting, because I just want to have like extra food. So 24th.
All right, yes, on the 24th, at that particular team meeting, we are having our Thanksgiving potluck. The sign-up sheet is over there, and we also have it on a spreadsheet, so let the front desk know, etc. So we want to have some yummy, yummy food on the 24th. And also, I'd like to just remind the Calabasas peeps that November 17th is our Calabasas only team meeting. And that's when we're doing our capper walk and some great recognition, and have a guest speaker on conflict resolution and the whole bit. So super excited for our Calabasas only meeting. So thank you for letting me share.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to that as well. Thank you. Food drive, we launched throughout the offices. If you're looking for that flyer, go see the agent services at each office, right? Or the TL if you're not sure who to. Front desk, okay. Haley, the front desk over here, and I'm not sure who's in charge in Calabasas over there. And go see Laura in West Side for the food drive. Many of you already reached out and you customize your flyer and you start to, do it in your farms. Every office should have a box or an area where we're gonna collect these bags and whatever. You can drop everything, because we're gonna schedule a pickup day. Every office based on their area for a food pantry or whatever organization or location we can support. So we do it every year, minus last year. So
And I do have bags
Yeah.
still available for those of you that want bags. Please see me.
okay. All right, thank you for that. And then we did Keller Williams nationwide. Some states, not all of them yet, launched the School of Real Estate. We have one as well. It's a virtual school together with Kaplan University. Pretty awesome. What we do pretty much is certifying people at no cost. Right? They just sign up. They get all the books, all the materials. They have online access as well to their portal, and they get licensed like they would do it anywhere else in the state or whatever, wherever, right? And you do have option to buy additional packages if you want to have coaching, and if you want to have like some cards and whatever, but the basic at no cost, courtesy and sponsorship of KW, right? And I think that's going to be a game changer. Look up, look out for the next couple of days. You're going to get an email promotion from us, so you can share that with people that you know, whatever. So that's a big one as well, right? Once again, that's a virtual school. It's not physically here in the office. And now, so they told me I have to wear those glasses to honor the flag of the country, right? I feel like it's Halloween, but it's not, and I cannot say anything, so I'm sorry. But no, this is a special moment because, and once again, shout out to Keller Williams for doing this, because we do have it every year, Veterans Day, but this is the first time that they actually took initiative and did something special for our veterans. This is only between our two offices. We didn't have anybody that we know, at least in West Side, that came forward, and of course we have them in all of our other offices that they're celebrating. They have different meetings. So I would like to. I'm going to call the whatever order we have on the screen, and we have something special to give you guys and to honor you. Do you want to just stand next to me and just help me with as well? Whatever we have on here. So okay. I think that should be the one over here. I'm just trying to match the screen. So and also that's on a personal note, from being a veteran in a different country, this is special. And whoever took the time and the initiative and made the decision to serve their country, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And there are always two sides to the coin, right? Sometimes it's could be like a great experience, can be intense experience to some. At the same time, I think that you all earned, right, that honor. At the same time, it's also the experience that it gave you. I can talk from my experience, from my own experience, right? So thank you for your service, and it's once again, it's a special moment. So I'm going to call your name and come up here. We have something special for you. John Bauer, first one. So we have a certificate for you signed by us. Thank you very much. And KW made this beautiful pin. Okay, for our veterans. I just want to show you guys over here. Can you press on the screen over here by mistake?
Oh, I did, because these are on.
Yeah. I just want to show you guys how it looks. There was this beautiful pin that KW produced.
Very nice.
KW and the US flag together says veteran. So, and you served where?
Air Force, and father to a Navy pilot. So there we go.
Nice.
Thank
you.
Big memories.
You do that in that case.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Thank you for your service. And not here, Jeff Loftus. I think he served 24 years as well. Jeff, he couldn't make it today. Jeff, thank you for your service. Afterwards, thank you.
What did he get? What service did he serve?
I'm not sure.
That's Coast Guard.
Yes, yeah, correct, yeah. You didn't hear that because Joe Sopo, you're up next. Come up here. Get the joke. Troublemaker Joe Sopo.
When you tell them it was World War I, they'll get why you just said it.
Yeah, much appreciated. And you've served this certificate for you,
Thank you.
right? And then this new thing.
Good.
Can I?
You'd like
And you served where?
right here in Long Beach, for 4 years in the Navy.
Nice.
And you survived.
So I didn't know because I was
How you
raised
ended
in
up in
Sacramento, so I never really was aboard ship. So I joined the Navy. I spent 4 years puking because I had seasickness, and you can't get out of it. You do. So
Joe Sopo, thank you. And we have Richard Sperling. Richard.
Yay, Richard.
Real military you go. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm not easier.
This is Richard. So you tell us where you serve.
U.S. Army.
U.S.
First
Army.
Infantry Division.
There you go. So hey, don't miss it, Richard.
6.
Which means you have to salute the next time you see him.
I was a lieutenant general.
Thank you. Yeah. Last but not least, in the Long Beach family over here, before we're gonna move to Calabasas, is Luis Willer. Luis, come up here. Thank you for service.
My pleasure.
And tell us what you've been up to when in your service, Luis.
Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I was there 6 years.
Airborne?
Yes, I was airborne. I was also in the SF.
You saw some action?
Yeah.
Survived, yeah. Well, I don't want to go deeper because sometimes that, it's a matter of like, what do you want to share? But take the time to get to know those amazing people more than what you think you do. And maybe, they can share their story with you guys to understand what they've been through and what made them who they are. So I appreciate you. I'll be honored to take a picture with you afterwards, please, if you stick around. So thank you for your service, everybody.
All right. Congratulations, all of you at Coastal Properties. Really appreciate, thank you for your service. And super honored to bring up Joanne Stevens.
Joanne.
So what branch did you serve with?
United States Air Force.
Woo!
I've done several jobs. I mean, I was a bomb loader, so I would upload real life bombs, including nuclear weapons. I've done that. And the last part, I did cybersecurity. I was a manager, cybersecurity manager.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. So again, thank you. Here.
Good job, Joanne. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Woo!
Good job, everybody. Thank you for your service and celebrate Veterans Day. And that's all we have for today, guys. So thank you. Next thing we're gonna go over stats and more information. Stephanie, anything else you want to share?
Nope, just go kick ass today. That's it.
And go to Joe's class in the West Side as well. So thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
All right, thank you.
Couple announcements. Today, over at the Seal Beach Pier, my husband